Hi, everybody. This is Felicia, and today I am coming to you with a different kind of photo. This photo is a panoramic photo of the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. I've never scrapped a panoramic photo before, so I had to kind of come up with my own ideas on how to do that. And there you have, I'm cutting some layers there. I'm going to be using this sketch here. And this sketch is something that I came up with because like I said, I've never scrapped a panoramic photo before. So that paper and the yellow starburst paper is from the Studio Calico's Sugar Rush um, kit. And I'm going to be doing a lot of layers in this layout. So there you see me grab some burlap. I automatically thought of burlap when I saw this photo. So I've removed the paper backing that was on that burlap so that I could take the strings out of it and make the edges look a little bit more texturized and roughed up there. So there I balled up a piece of paper from a dictionary, and I'm going to put that in it too as well. This is where I start building all of my layers. So that's another piece of scrap from my stash. And I originally was going to put that piece, but I changed my mind. So what I'm doing right now is placing everything and trying to figure out all of my layers that I'm going to have on here, and then all of my dimensions. And that piece right there that you just saw was a piece that was embossed, and it was also in my stash. So like I said, I am going to be trying to layer all of this stuff. And this is something that, like I said, I've never done before on a panoramic. I've never scrapped panoramic. So this is new. And right now I'm just cutting out some different textures and layers and things like that to put underneath this photo. Some of these came from out of my stash, and some of them have been around forever, and I'm getting around to using quite a bit of it. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to do so. So there I am trying to get everything in together and see how this is going to work out. And those right there are brads with a little bit of starburst on there. And I am going to be, those came from out of my stash, but I am going to be putting those on there as well. So I have I'm going to have three layers of, not three layers, but three clusters of veneer stars. And I'm going to be putting those on. Those are eyelets that I'm going to be putting in the holes of that little tag right there. And that's going to hold my journaling. The ink that I have right there is from not Technique Tuesday, Quick Quotes. And that ink I've had for about a couple years now, and the color on that ink is called Mocha Mama. And Quick Quotes used to have a lot of these inks, and I used to buy a lot of them, but I'm down to like I think 4 or 5 of them left right now. And so I decided I'd use them up while I can because I don't really buy those anymore. The chalk ink on those dry really fast, though. I really like it. So I'm edging everything with this ink because I want to distinguish all of the layers. I want them to be noticeable. And so in order for me to have that effect, I'd have to ink all of the edges there of everything that's going to be on this layout and in the layers. And for those of you who know what the Mount of Olives is, if you are churchgoers, you will know that is where Christ was. And so I decided, and the church member of mine was able to get that photo and bring it back. And I thought that was really cool of her to do that. I've never been out of the country, and I sure as heck don't know if I would like to go to Jerusalem right about now, but she made the trip out there and came back fine. So maybe I could do it. You never know. Maybe one of these days. I have friends right now who are in Jerusalem as we speak, and they'll be there for a couple weeks there. So there I'm inking the edge, and I'm going to use my Tim Holtz tool to distress it as well. So I'm distressing the edges as well as ink them. And that gives it a more, I like that look that it gives it. Once you distress it and ink it, it looks really good. It looks kind of old and in roughage there. Roughage. Looks kind of old. So there I am in the process of layering up all my layers there. And that paper there came crinkly just like it is. I don't know for sure where I got it from, but it's a good paper. So I'm inking up all the edges there of part of the top there, getting everything situated. And that's when I realized that the tape is not going to stick on the burlap. So I decided that I would put it directly on the paper there, of course. And that is my 1/2 inch ATG gun. I like that one. So I have two of those. I have the 1/2 inch and the smaller pink one. And the 1/2 inch I usually use for bigger things. But in that case, I needed it for that burlap. So after I fluffed up the edges of the burlap, I'm starting to put the layers on. So you can kind of see how these layers are starting to look there before the photo gets on there. And I think I got all of that stuff inked up there. So then I put the photo down and getting it situated here is a thing. I think I got some ink on the photo. I think that's what I was rubbing off, just a little bit. Ink was on my fingers. Sometimes I forget to wipe off my hands though, but I just gotta remember to do that. So because this layout, well, this photo is going horizontal, I had to put some circles and get some verticals and some shorter like square pieces behind it to balance it out. So, and that piece right there that you see, that is from, and the piece that's going to go in the upper corner, those two pieces are from SEI. I don't know if any of you guys remember SEI. I haven't bought anything from them in years now. So, but their kits were just packed full of papers, double-sided papers, and their kits were full. So what I'm doing right now is I am going to string that through the eyelets, and that's the burlap strings that I pulled out of that top piece of burlap there. And I'm going to be using those as well. I figured I'd go ahead and use them because it's kind of like burlap twine type of deal thing. So I'm going to put that down. And that piece is going up in the corner. That piece too is also from SEI. SEI, like I said, has some great stuff in their kits. I haven't bought from them in a long time, like I said, but I don't know if they're still even around. I don't see their papers anymore, so I'm not sure. So now I am putting that clip on there, and that clip I eventually changed because it just was standing out too much, and I wanted something that didn't stand out, that went, better with the colors and everything. And the edge of that frame up in the upper left-hand corner there, I also cut off a little bit too of that so I can balance out the photo there. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I think I'm poking something. Oh yes, that's right. I see. I'm just can't figure out what I'm doing. Right now I am going to start my clusters of the wood star veneers. And I'm going to have 3 of those on the page. I think, oh, and then I put the wood veneer clips on there with the fishtail banners. I like those. Those looked perfect where they were. And it took me a long time to use them, but I finally figured out how and where to use them at. So I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. Okay, I think I'm getting some more wood veneer stars to make my 3rd cluster. So I'm looking at it and that clip just doesn't look right. And I'm still thinking, in the meantime, I distract myself by putting that piece up there at the top. And that piece is also from SEI. So there I go. I changed the clip. See, I knew I would because it just wasn't working for me. That clip is a more bronzy type of clip, and that worked perfect actually where I put it at, and I like that look better than I like that blue one that stood out too much. So now I am making that more suitable there at the top, gluing down my wood veneers with my multi medium matte there from Ranger. I like that stuff. So now my panel pretty much is done. And I'm gonna glue down a couple more embellishments there before I decide to get that baby glued down. That piece, that little flower too, is from an SEI kit too, and the pearl that I'm getting ready to put in the center of that flower up there is also from an SEI kit. So I still have some embellishments left over from those kits. Alrighty, so I figured out I got some ink on there, and I scraped it off with my Tim Holtz tool as much as I could. Then of course I used the eraser, which got off a lot of it, but not all of it. And so after I figured out it's not all coming off, then I used my Signal white pen there to cover up the ink spots that got onto the photo, the white part of that photo. Alrighty, so now I'm going to glue down my panel here, the whole thing, with all the layers. And I'm gluing it right there on the edge because I'm going to cut off part of that frame there over there once I get finished here gluing down the other stars. And then once I get finished gluing down all the stars there, I'm fluffing up some of the things there around the edge. And like I said, I cut off some of the edge of that frame at the top, and I'm going to put it over there on the other side. Now those thickers are been in my stash for a little bit, and I don't remember exactly what they were, but I decided to use those. So there I do. I'm trying to figure out where to put that piece of frame. Have to look at it and then figure out, okay, first I was going to put it at the bottom, and then I've quickly realized that nope, I need a little bit of balance over there, so that's where I put it at. So I'm tying those burlap strings into a bow, and then once I get them into a bow there, I'm going to be putting some glossy accents right where the bow ties into a knot so that it doesn't come loose. So I'm getting that done. And now I'm poking a hole there to fill that awkward space up there for that embellishment. And I'm going to be putting another one up there because I figured that there's another awkward space. So I'm got another one out and put it right up there, and that was a perfect spot. I like that Tim Holtz tool, by the way. It's so cool because you can retract the blade. You can, you know, make it as long or as short as you want. So that's on. And it goes the glossy accents. So now I'm putting that on each bow so that it doesn't come loose. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-matte medium to put the alphas on there from Miss American Crafts. I don't remember what those were. I think I said that already, but anyway. Getting them all nice and mounted there. Yeah, I used two different kinds of thickers in this layout this time because I wanted to get some more yellow on there from the yellow paper that's in the background up there. Getting them all glued down. So I'm spelling out Mount of Olives. I would like to go there one day, hopefully soon. With all the issues that they're having in a lot of these countries, it's just, you just never know. So once I get the Mount of Olives put on the page there and get everything all situated, I start my journaling. And like I said, my journaling states that this photo was given to me by a church member who went to Jerusalem. And this is the Mount of Olives where Christ once stood. She gave this picture to me, I think it was in October. So I put October 2014. So there you have it. All done. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.